I am having a download right now, and I am feeling like I'm wanting to share this. I was pretty emotional right before I decided to tape this. So it's potential that I could get more emotional because I am in a process of releasing right now. But I feel like somebody, at least one person, needs to hear this. So okay, so I had noticed I'm waiting for my friend. This is my personal experience. I'm waiting for my friend to come pick me up. And when I was younger, I had to sit at the window, be ready, like I am right now, sitting by the window, watching for my mom and dad to get here. Because if I made my dad wait 1 second, I would get extreme punishment. And I am 48 years old and I am still doing this. And the way that I know that it's something that's affecting me is because I was sitting down here waiting and I was watching a Teal Swan regarding victimhood mentality and just victimhood and childhood trauma, just a lot of different topics. She was being interviewed. And I love her because she resonates for me big time. And so if I'm resonating for you, if you haven't, I'm sure you've heard of her because she's one of the big ones. But you might resonate with her if you haven't, so check her out. She's a wealth full of knowledge, especially for those of us that have grown up in that super abusive, narcissistic, toxic, dysfunctional environment that are needing more guidance on the healing path. And if you were really ignorant and kind of blind to a lot of it, she's really, she articulates everything very, very easy to understand. But anyways, I love watching stuff like that because all her stuff is always very helpful and it's meant to help me, knowledge is power. And the more knowledge that you have in a scenario or in a situation and about something, the more aware you are. And then, then you can, expand into it. So I'm sitting here and I was noticing that I was getting panicky and tight chested. And so I thought, God, why? Like, I thought maybe it was something about this health issue that I'm dealing with, and thought, no, that's weird because I shouldn't be. That shouldn't be that. And so then I noticed that I was sitting here because she hadn't come yet, and I noticed myself like kind of, looking out the window like this, and I all of a sudden just had this flashback then to when I would sit here and wait for my dad and the anxiety that I felt waiting for him. Because like I say, like, I was the only person I knew that had to do this for their parents. And this is something that has definitely stuck with me big time because I would get in so much trouble, like, screaming, physically hit, like, grounded, like just as extreme as it can go. And I was like, this is why I'm feeling this tightness and this space that is ready to incubate a panic attack, is because the feeling, I'm triggering myself basically by sitting here waiting for my friend to come here and pick me up. And I noticed that I just became aware of the fact that that's why I was feeling that. And it should be so obvious. But see, sometimes something is so ingrained in us and we don't know that that's, that we're just feeling this feeling. We're like, why is this happening? Why is this coming on? Well, it's because then I also thought, am I nervous to go hang out with it because there's another new person I'll be seeing? And I thought, well, maybe it's about that. But no, if, like, when you really step into your higher self and really, drop into it, it was like, no, all of a sudden my higher self, downloaded the information and said, you're feeling this. This is good. You want to feel this because you need to integrate this. You need to let yourself know that, you had that as a tool when you were younger to survive. you had to be prepared and ready and in that, but it left you in an anxious space. And you've now held on to that anxiety for so many years and decades that, yeah, how it's showing itself, because all that energy is still pent up inside of you. And for me, I was feeling it here, and it's like, okay, what is that energy? And so I gave the energy permission to, first of all, acknowledging it, and that, thank you for being there when you were there. You were very helpful during those moments that I needed it during my survival time. However, when you feel ready, you are okay to leave my energy space when you are ready and it feels right for you, because now I know that, letting my inner self, my little child, know that you are safe. We are in this together, and we don't need to wait like that for people anymore. There's nobody in our lives anymore that needs us to wait so psychotically like that. And this is just a reminder for any of you who might also be dealing with things like this, contexts that could be similar, maybe not the exact same, story, obviously, maybe the same story, but I just had that moment of recognition where it was like, whoa, this is an integration moment where I can, dig into that. And that's why I say I was just going into it and allowing myself to be emotional. And that's how I released feeling. It's through my tears and just, letting the emotions flow in the way that they were never allowed to flow when the situation was occurring before. So all the years previous, right? So take a deep breath. Just breathe into that. Releasing it into Mother Earth to be transmuted into love and light. And that's that for me is huge, because that was a moment that I was able to, and I'm going to get emotional because I love it when I learn something that, because I am trying, and this is hard at times. It's hard to see the things that you're doing all the time that just seem so much part of you that you're like, I didn't even know I needed to change that. But now that I can see it from a wider perspective, a more expanded view, perspective, you're like, yeah, whoa, that is creating that's where that anxiety is. And then once you breathe through it, you're like, it's lightening now. It's getting lighter, and I can breathe easier. So this is for all of you looking to just have another moment of what does it look like to release? What does it look like to become aware of something? That's what I just gave you in an 8-minute video. So I hope this has been helpful for at least one person. If so, let me know in the comments, and thank you for joining.